This is QTV News. I am Mamadou Gajaga and thanks for joining us. Coming up tonight, African leaders have started arriving in Sochi for an important two-day Russia-Africa summit. Former AFPRC junta vice chairman Edward Singhateh categorically denies any involvement in the killing of former finance minister Ousman Koro Ceesay. A National Assembly member for Tallinding told the TRRC about her arrest and alleged torture by the NIA but cannot confirm being raped. A medical doctor also continues his testimony on gender-based violence. The Ecowas Commission in the Gambia recently ended a visit to 7 border posts in 3 regions in the country. For more on these and other stories, stay tuned. Welcome and thanks for joining us. This is QTV News. African leaders have started arriving in Sochi for an important 2-day Russia-Africa summit. As Edward Singhateh reports, the summit intends to build a comprehensive framework for expanding Russia-Africa relations.
President Putin is hosting dozens of African leaders this week as Russia seeks to reassert its influence on the continent and beyond. The heads of African countries are expected for the first Africa-Russia summit in the Black Sea resort of Sochi. Africa is the world's second largest and second most populous continent in the world. Among those that have arrived for the summit are President Adama Barrow of the Gambia and Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria. For the Russian president, the summit is a chance to revive Soviet-era relationships and build new alliances, strengthening Moscow's global influence in the face of confrontation with the West. Egyptian President and African Union Chairman Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said he was relying on the summit to launch an integrated framework of relations between African countries and Moscow. For President Barrow, this will be another opportunity to lobby for more foreign assistance for his development agenda. However, his critics say the foreign aid extended to the country so far have impacted little on the lives and livelihoods of ordinary Gambians. Reporting for QTV News, I am Edward Singhateh.
Former junta vice chairman Edward Singhateh categorically denies any involvement in the killing of former finance minister Ousman Koro Ceesay. Mr. Singhateh says Koro's death may have been in connection to money sent from Libya meant for Casamance rebels. He made these revelations at the TRRC towards the end of his testimony. AFPRC has the rest of the details. Fatoumata K. Jawara, National Assembly member for Tallinding, on Tuesday told the TRRC that she was tortured by the NIA but cannot confirm that she was raped during her arrest with UDP militants on April 14, 2016. Dr. Babanding Dafe, a medical practitioner, also continued his testimony on gender-based violence. AFPRC again.
Edward Singhateh began his testimony by accepting participating in the killings of 11 soldiers accused of involvement in the alleged November 11 coup. On the arrest, torture and detention of Sana Sabali and Sadibu Haidara, he said he was informed that the duo planned to launch a coup, arrest Yaya Jammeh and other council members and detain them at the Mile 2 prisons. Singhateh also denied knowing that Sana and Sadibu were tortured in prison. He confirmed that the statement made by Yaya Jammeh that Sana and Sadibu came to his office and pointed a pistol that never fired was false. On the arrest and detention of PPP politicians accused of trying to stage a demonstration at foreign embassies, Edward recalled that there was no permit issued for such and the security chiefs were authorized to quell the demonstration. Mr. Singhateh accepted responsibility for the arrest and detention of these politicians who were kept for almost a year at Fajara barracks under horrible conditions.
There are a few people who died soon after, very old people who were badly treated. What do you say to these people and their families? About 60 people were detained, including some women.
Extremely sorry. Mange Jegalu.
He said he's begging for forgiveness.
Di ñaan kilifa yeb yuñ téye woon ci waxtu boobu noonu.
Appealing to all the elders who were arrested at that time.
Ak seen njaboot yi yeb.
Plus all their families.
Di jégalu di ñaan waa réew mi yeb ñu jégal ñu.
On the attack and beatings of UDP supporters at Dutton Bridge, Singhateh accepted being present at the scene but denied beating anyone. In the final part of his testimony, which centered on the killing of Koro Ceesay, Edward Singhateh said he last saw Koro Ceesay at the airport when seen of Yaya Jammeh. He said he believed that Koro's death may have been associated with money sent from Libya meant for the rebels in Casamance. He categorically denied having knowledge or participating in the assassination of his colleague and former finance minister. This denial came even though his former driver, his bodyguard and other witnesses, including Alaji Kanyi, all testified that Singhateh took an active part in Ousman Koro Ceesay's assassination.
I just want to put it to you, Mr. Singhateh, that this story that you are giving us is just intended really to cover up the main purpose of the removal of the guards. It was all intended to clear the scene such that this heinous crime could be committed away from the peering eyes of the guards. That is the reason why all these guards and the family members were removed from Yankuba's house. Do you deny that?
Of course, I completely deny that.
Edward Singhateh denied taking part or being responsible for what lead counsel said were 50 serious allegations leveled against him. Babukar C, QTV News. Fatoumata K. Jawara recalled the incident of April 14, 2016 when she alleged to have been arrested at Westfield by PIU officers and taken to their headquarters and later to the NIA office. She recalled the Westfield gathering by UDP militants was meant to protest against the electoral reform. Instead, she alleged that security officers forcefully gave them banners with the writings "Jammeh must go" so as to manipulate and build a strong case against them. After their arrest, she said they were taken to Mile 2 Central Prison's female wing and were reporting to the NIA headquarters where she alleged that they were tortured.
I was stretched on top of a table. They were pouring water on me. I cannot breathe, neither to move. So some of them hold my hands, some of them hold my legs, and some started beating me up.
She added that she was also blindfolded and taken to a room where she was threatened that she would be raped if she refused to cooperate. However, she can't confirm if she was raped or not because she said she was unconscious due to being tortured. Fatoumata K. Jawara further explained that she was later transferred to Janjanbureh prisons where she was detained under horrible conditions. She said she and other detainees spent 8 months in detention before being sentenced. Next to appear was Dr. Babandin Dafe, who continued his testimony from last week on gender-based violence in the country. As a medical practitioner, Mr. Dafe recalled incidences he registered issues on sexual violence, FGM, rape and attempted rape. He said the rate of such acts is on the rise in the country since 2014.
I may not be able to give the statistics of the whole country, but my hospital, which I'm in charge of the one-stop center from 2014 to present, I have received 46 cases in 2014 that include both domestics and sexual violence. But if you look at the rape form, the majority. Rape is always more than the 50% of what you registered yearly. And then in 2016, it went up to 94. That's my hospital. And the same rape formed the majority, and the people affected, or the girls affected, or female affected, are mostly between the age of 5 or sometimes even less to 12 years.
He told the commission that not only women and girls were affected by sexual violence, but also boys.
A boy that was sexually penetrated by a man, that's one. The other one was a white man, was have a Gambian wife, was violated also at home, was physically. The other one was a man who married a second wife, and then the first wife was not pleased with that. And while having a shower, he just threw a chemical on the private part.
Dr. Dafe said some of the challenges they face is the stigma and culture of silence surrounding sexual violence. He, however, confirmed that perpetrators are now getting the much-deserved punishment in court. At the end of the day's session, The TRRC chairman, Dr. Lamin Ceesay, was compelled to read out a press statement expressing concern and disappointment at reports of attacks against victims of sexual violence who had testified before the commission. Dr. Ceesay went on to say that if Gambians cannot support and encourage victims during and after their testimonies, the commission will have no choice other than to hold further such hearings in camera, that is, behind closed doors. Babukar C, QTV News.
The Ecowas Commission in the Gambia recently ended a visit to 7 border posts in 3 regions in the country. The tour was organized to sensitize communities and gather information on ECOWAS protocols on free movement of persons, goods and services. Our Mamadou Lamin Choi was with the delegation during the tour, and he now reports.
After 40 years since its adoption by ECOWAS member states, the regional bloc's free movement protocol has some success stories. However, there are still challenges faced in the implementation process. A high-powered ECOWAS delegation, including heads of missions, have met with border officials who share their challenges and successes on the free movement protocol. Border officials, including immigration, custom and police officers, have shared their experiences as implementers of the protocol. Despite being at different crossing points across the Gambia, their experiences are common. There wasn't any admission of violating the ECOWAS free movement protocol by border officials, but allegations are that some of them have been abusing their positions by levying charges on travelers. The protocol on free movement of people stipulates that ECOWAS citizens with valid national documents and international health certificates can enter and stay for up to 90 days in an ECOWAS member country without any charges. Bakari Toure is an assistant superintendent officer of the Gambia Immigration Department. He denounces those accused of violating ECOWAS free movement laws. The ECOWAS country representative, Vaba Geflo, calls for a change of mindset and culture of bad behavior among border officials, adding that commitment to this will solve problems.
You know the laws, you know the rules, all of these protocols, but yet not happening. So we now will continue to engage you to see where we can break this thing so that we can be able to cover it and let people look at it. Ghana and Gambia will lose.
The ECOWAS protocol of free movement of people, goods and services is a commitment by nations, but some are accused of ignoring its implementation. At almost all the border posts visited during the tour, Gambian border authorities have cast the blame on Senegalese border authorities for blocking smooth implementation of the protocol. According to sources, trucks have to wait for days or sometimes weeks before they are cleared to cross the border by Senegalese border officials. The ECOWAS protocol, although signed by member countries, is misunderstood by many travelers who are without valid national documents and still want to move freely in and out of countries in the sub-region. According to Gambian border authorities, this is one of the major challenges they face with ECOWAS citizens. With the ECOWAS ID card adopted by some countries, there is the hope for smooth mobility of people within the sub-region. The Ecowas Commission has promised to document the facts they have gathered and to take appropriate measures to address problems. They also believe that government's role in this is fundamental. For QTV News, Mamadou Lamin Choi.
We will go with a short commercial break. When we return, we hear from the Director of Health Services on the closure of ABS German Clinic and a donation of 60 bicycles to 2 schools in the North Bank region. Do stay tuned.
Save up to 50% energy with the new Samsung side-by-side refrigerator. Samsung air conditioner comes with HD filter and antibacterial for your protection. Save save time and effort by using our washing machines, loaded with innovative features and offer superior cleaning technology. Check out our different ranges of smart mobile phones and tablets in both single and dual SIMs. Visit us at the QCell Building, Kairaba Avenue, or at Brusubi Turntable. Call 3333217 or email us at info@qnet.gm. Remember, you have 12 months manufacturer warranty on all products. Samsung. Imagine.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
A 7-day training course on product packaging was organized by the National Youth Chamber of Commerce and partners. The aim was to build the capacity of entrepreneurs in product packaging. Jennifer Sonko has more.
Training young entrepreneurs in product packaging is part of preparations for the second edition of the Youth Agribusiness and Tourism Expo, scheduled for November and December 2019. The expo provides a platform for entrepreneurs to establish business links through networking and enable them to increase their business income. Representative from the Women's Chamber of Commerce, Hadija Tungom, says packaging gives entrepreneurs an opportunity to receive feedback from buyers as telephone numbers and emails are normally on the product tags.
It's best to keep up what you're doing and keep up the standards. We're good at starting but not completing and continuing. That's where we fail. I have a business, I'm running a business, and I see it through day in, day out. I'll show the staff something today, it's forgotten tomorrow. And what I say to them is, if the business is closing tomorrow, then don't do it again. But as long as we're surviving, keep doing it and doing it even better. So what I can say here is, like the current GYCC project aims to do exactly that, and our role is to ensure we bring complementary support in participation and creating opportunities.
A representative of the Youth Empowerment Project, Abdurrahman Jeng, says high-quality products are available in the Gambia but can't reach wider markets because of poor packaging.
Packaging is a concern for us, and that being the case, it was why this initiative was sometime last year was started by providing a TOT for trainers to see to it that after the TOT training, a step-down training would follow suit.
Participant Ecowas Ceesay shared her experience participating in the training.
In the entrepreneurship circle, the pursuit for knowledge is a never-ending journey, and hence, practical learning is an eminent pillar to theoretical learning. And during these 7 days, we can boldly and proudly stand in public and say that GYCC, in collaboration with its partners and the Ministry of Trade, has not only created the platform for us in that aspect, which is the packaging, but has been our shining star and Google Maps, especially for youth and women.
Product packaging is undoubtedly one of the most important business marketing tools. Beautifully presented products, especially food, make people not only want to consume them, but also makes them believe that the food actually tastes better. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
Following the closure of ABS German Clinic in Latrikunda, German, the Director of Health Services at the Ministry of Health on Tuesday clarified the circumstances that prompted the closure of the clinic. Maria Tussar has more details.
The Ministry of Health on the 9th of October ordered the immediate closure of the ASB clinic. All the patients admitted at the clinic were evacuated to the nearest government hospitals. The management of ASB clinic claimed they were not given enough time to alert their patients. As a result, patients will converge daily at the clinic hoping to receive treatment, while some came to inquire about when the hospital will reopen. Dr. Mustafa Bitey, the Acting Director of Health Services, explains the circumstances surrounding the temporary closure of the ASB clinic. Dr. Bitey says the closure is not a witch hunt, but a decision to ensure proper services are delivered to the public.
The ASB hospital is doing a good job in the past, and I think going forward we expect that that's going to continue. And this is not a witch hunt. So ASB, what we've realized is, for example, in 2018 November, we had a report of a case. We go frequently to different hospitals to see the referrals, how are they coming, what are the issues. And there were spades of referrals that were being reported to the ministry where, we've seen that the management sometimes is suboptimal, especially when it comes to maternal health. So a team was dispatched to go there and inspect and review, especially in related to a case that had a previous years, and later induction was done for her, which is a total contraindication, and which led to the demise of the patient ultimately.
He further explains that an agreement was made with the management of ASB Clinic to fulfill certain requirements to enable the clinic to reopen. But the problem is still unresolved.
So sometimes what causes the problem in these centers is the women come, but the expert maybe do not have the opportunity to see them because of the system that is in place. So we've agreed on certain things that mechanism needs to be put in place where they have to ensure that the most knowledgeable person always has to see the patient. You don't just for example, leave a patient and just ask the nurse, for example, to send when it's a high-risk case. So they've written a letter to acknowledge all this, that going forward, they will do all that to ensure that before any referral is sent, especially for maternal cases, obstetrician would see to ensure that all high-risk women, the input of the obstetrician must be there to ensure that people who are trained for particular services are the only one who render it. Not just anybody doing whatever you want. So we were given this assurance and we are ready to open it. We even wrote a letter sent to them that now we are going to reopen the place. Only for us to receive another letter to state that they don't actually, it looks like they didn't even understand the agreement. And now we have doubt that they are really going to follow the agreement they told us. So I think we need to put in more stringent measures.
The acting director added that it is the responsibility of the Ministry of Health, especially the Director of Health Service, to make sure proper measures are put in place for both the private and public health sectors to ensure that people's health needs are met and they will not relent in their duty. For QTV News, I am Maria Tussar.
60 bicycles were donated to students at Kuntaya Basic Cycle School and Albreda Upper and Senior Secondary Schools in the North Bank region. The bicycles were given by an NGO, Wonder Year Center of Excellence. Lamin Dabo has more.
Wonder Year Center of Excellence donated the bicycles as part of their Bicycles to Schools pilot project, which aims to encourage students to get to school on time, especially those that live several kilometers away from their school. 27 bicycles were given to Kuntaya Basic Cycle School and 33 to Albreda Upper and Senior Secondary School. According to the donors, the bikes will help reduce mobility challenges of underprivileged students and encourage them to get to school on time. Babukar Ndur, a senior teacher at Kuntaya Basic Cycle School, says the bicycles will go a long way towards helping the students to get to school early. He appealed to other NGOs and private institutions and philanthropies to support such a worthy cause.
This thing will help those coming from border places, whereby you see 7 or 8 kilometers coming to Kunta Basic Cycle, 200 or 180 coming outside. So we would like them to let them try and push a little bit.
Lamin Kijera, the country director for WISE, explains the motive behind the Bicycles to Schools project, which he said has been operating in Fonyi and Kiang. He urged both teachers and parents to ensure that students use the bikes for the reasons they are intended.
Hoping that the parents, the teachers will help the student so that this bicycle that we are donating today, they will be taken good care, so that the bicycle can last long and then also can help the student to achieve what we all want to achieve. Because what we want to achieve at the end of the day is the result. And to get that result, we want the support of the parents, we want the support of the teachers, we want the support of the students themselves.
Matar F. Ndau, the cluster monitor in Albreda, highlights the significance of the pilot project, saying it will help improve students' attendance in school.
Albreda Upper and Senior Secondary School is being fed by many catchment areas, and the shortest catchment area, the number of kilometers of that the children trek is about 5 to 6 kilometers, and that is a long distance. And once they trek that, they become exhausted before reaching the school, and that would also have an impact on their performance. So to me, the project will help in improving attendance and also improving quality education.
The WISE Country Coordinator Lamin Mar explains sustainability measures to ensure a successful pilot project.
Sustainability part of it. That's why we call all these three partners, or we call it the three arms. That is WISE as the sponsors, the parents and the children, plus their teachers, in order to upkeep this project going.
Wanda ES Center of Excellence is an NGO based in Madina Salam Village, Kombo South in West Coast region. The organization focuses mainly on education, primary health care and skills development, especially in rural Gambia. For QTV News, Lamin Alai Fandin Dabo.
Before we end this bulletin of the news, let's take a quick look at our main headlines. African leaders have started arriving in Sochi for an important two-day Russia-Africa summit. Former AFPRC junta vice chairman Edward Singhateh categorically denies any involvement in the killing of former finance minister Ousman Koro Ceesay. A National Assembly member for Tallinding told the TRRC about her arrest and alleged torture by the NIA, but cannot confirm being raped. A medical doctor also continues his testimony on gender-based violence. The Ecowas Commission in the Gambia recently ended a visit to 7 border posts in 3 regions in the country. That's all we have for you on tonight's newscast. Join us tomorrow for more news. Have a pleasant night.